welcome back to Holy Fire Defense. Today I want to get into what's been going on with the Israel war and the declaration of war across the world, basically by Hamas, calling out everybody that's with them or Muslims for a holy jihad against all Americans, Jews, any of their enemies, and ways we could defend ourselves and weapons that we can use. A lot of the things that can take place are usually outside of someone's home. But you saw in Israel when they ran up and they were coming into people's houses, sometimes there was 10 of them or more, and you never know what's going on right now. All I know is we're at the brink of war pretty much everywhere, and with all the people that have come in through the border and stuff, you know, it's like I said before, I feel like people have forgot 9/11, like they forget what terrorism's really like, and they're not going to get it until they start blowing people up again and running them over and shooting them and whatever else they're going to do. So we need to focus on that and remember, because things haven't changed. It's just like a sleeper cell waiting to wake up, and it's waking up. So we have to be on point and get ourselves together and make sure we're all right. Now I wish that we can carry rifles if we needed to through the streets, but we can't. We'll be considered criminals and we're doing bad things and we're breaking the law and we're up to something. But that's not the case. But if all hell breaks loose, then that's what you will see, because America will defend itself. Now, when it comes to your home, let's say that somebody's busting into your house, they're breaking in, they're invading, and there's more than two coming in. You got 4 or 5, you know they're armed. What are you going to do? Okay, first thing most of us go for, because most people just have this, they have a pistol. A lot of regular, just normal, everyday people probably don't train, don't shoot, don't do too much. They have a pistol. Now that pistol's only going to get you so far. You could defend yourself, but to a certain extent, because if they have high-powered rifles, or if they have, you know, many shots, extended magazines, and you're going up with, I don't know, 5 of them, 6 of them, 7 of them, and it's just you or whatever else, this is not going to get you too far. So pistols, hey, it's better to have one than not have one, but it's not something that's going to be able to protect you from multiple assailants. So the next thing is a shotgun. Now most people, this is their go-to. This is what they have to defend themselves, and almost everybody recommends this for home defense, and this is great. Shotguns are great for home defense. It's a pump action, you know. This is a Maverick 88, so you got about, you know, 8 shots you're going to shoot, so you can defend yourself well. But what, again, if it's multiple assailants coming for you, this is only going to go so far. Now the next thing you could use, which I always talk about, this shotgun. Now this is a semi-automatic 12 gauge. This would even be better, but once again you're looking at 10 shots, so you can only go so far with this. The problem is, especially if you live in California, you got to separate the bottom and lower receiver to get the magazine out, so that's going to be a problem too. Really, to be honest with you, if you live in California, you're at a huge disadvantage. Because other states, they could have the high capacity magazines, which is just a regular magazine is really what it is. All these other terminologies came from California. So in California, you're going to have 10 rounds. The next thing you want to go for is the AR-15. Now this would be a good way to defend yourself against multiple assailants. Like I said, this is for people in other states. If you live in California, you're at a disadvantage because you get 10 rounds. So by the time this one too, you have to separate the bottom and lower receivers in order to get the magazine out. So once again, you're at a disadvantage. It's going to take forever, and you only have 10 rounds. But an AR-15 would be a great way to be able to defend yourself against many assailants. If you're in the other states and you got your 30 rounds, your 40 rounds, or whatever else you have, you're at a huge advantage because you're able to defend yourself thoroughly, not like California. Now this one, if you're in California, I recommend an AR-15 like this. It has the fin on it, so since it has the fin on it, you don't have to separate the bottom and lower receivers in order to put another magazine in. You only still have 10 rounds, but for people in California, this is better, because see, you just push the button like a regular gun and you pull a magazine out. So that is an advantage for California. So this kind of gun in California would be your best bet. You guys in other states, your ARs are going to work great. The next thing, if you don't have an AR, can always use an AK. This gun is used pretty much all over the world. It's only a few places that use like AR style rifles. That's like Europe, Britain, and all that, United Kingdom, America, just a couple of places like that. Almost everybody else. When we fought the Vietnam War, they all used AKs. Russia uses AKs. China using AKs. So Afghanistan was using AKs too until Biden left all our weapons out there. So now they got M4s, a whole lot of them. But yeah, this is a good go-to weapon too. You can fend off a lot of assailants coming for you if they're coming into your home. You might think like, oh, that's doing too much. That's unrealistic. Look, with the way things are going right now, if you think America having troops launched onto our shores is too far-fetched, you're not thinking clearly. It means you're too comfortable. You're not thinking straight. So once again, the AK, a good way to back them up and drop them down. Whatever you got to do if they're coming for you in droves, you got to be able to back them up and do what you need to do to protect your family and your home. Who knows, you might end up having to protect the whole part of your city, whatever it may go on. You can't never think that nothing's going to go on or nothing's going to happen, because stuff does happen. So the AR-15 or the AK would be your best bet to get rid of a lot of assailants. Now there's other guns out there, but what I'm saying is something that has enough shots to be able to defend yourself properly against multiple intruders or anybody coming for us. You know, are they kicking doors? Are they doing sweeps to try to kill off Americans? You don't know what they're up to. But all I know is that America right now, we need to make sure that we have our guns and we're able to defend ourselves. Now, I could be completely wrong. Might not ever be any hand-to-hand combat or gun-to-gun combat. Might just be nuclear war. So in that case, whoever survives has to be out, you know, off the grid, living a apocalyptic life, and then you'll still need your guns to protect yourself, because it's going to be complete chaos and people are going to be hungry and starving and fighting for whatever they believe in. That's why so many people now, man, they have their food stacked up, they have bug out kits, they have shelters, they have many things, and other people look at them like, oh, they're crazy, look at that guy over there. But you know what it makes me think of? It makes me think why Noah was sitting there building that ark all those years, and everybody's walking by, look at this idiot, he's over here building the ship. There's no rain. There's like no rain ever, like, and he's building the ship. It's the same thing when you walk by, you see your neighbor or somebody that you know, they're down there building bunkers, they're sticking boxcar things in the ground and turning them into a shelter, and you're laughing at them. What is it? But you won't be laughing if it kicks off and something goes wrong. It's better to be ready than not ready. So these are things you need to think about, things I think about, so I'm just sharing them with you. So the best way to defend yourself, you definitely need a high-powered rifle, because most likely they will have high-powered rifles. And when I mean they, I mean terrorists, I mean anybody who's a threat to America's borders, America's homeland. We got to be ready and make sure we protect ourselves. It's us citizens, we'll have to stand up and fight, because if they're coming and our military's getting nailed, you know, we all got to stand together. We all have to stand together. I mean, that's what it was all about in 1776. All Americans stood up against the British back then. By God's grace, we won the war. So you never know when we might have to do that again. You say, no, now there's too much technology, won't be no pretty much troops on the ground type stuff. You never know. Russia just parked a warship in the Bay of Cuba. So, isn't that like 30 miles away from Florida? All I know is I remember when the Cuban Missile Crisis happened and they started putting missiles over there and all that, our whole fleet was ready to go to war. Now I don't know if we're doing anything. I guess they're just parking warships over there and Biden's sitting on the beach sipping Mai Tais or something. I don't know. These are just things that are serious and we got to think about and consider and pretty much prepare ourselves in any way we can to be ready for any type of war from our enemies, because our enemies right now, they're stoking the fire. They're not caring about nothing America's saying right now. They're doing what they want to do. So Trump 2024, I hope he gets back in and starts setting this stuff straight. I don't know if it's too late. I hope not. Holy Fire Defense, make sure you like and subscribe.